I'm Jonathan.
I'm Jackson.
And this is the
In the Stats Podcast. So we are both members of the Teen Advisory Board here at the Breathitt County Public Library. And we have formed this podcast to spread the word about all the incredible stuff that the Breathitt County Public Library does, as well as the Teen Advisory Board as the extension. We're going to be talking a little bit more also about the history of Breathitt County, all kinds of just different really fun facts, stuff that's going on in your community here and now.
This podcast will be a bi-weekly podcast, and we will have different segments in it, which include, but are not limited to, we'll have people on to talk about Teen Craft Nights. We have a Teen Craft Night. It is a once monthly event that we do. It is posted on our Facebook. You can register when it is posted. Some of them do have a limited space, so it's first come, first serve. Be on the lookout for our Teen Craft Nights. We'll have interviews. We'll have interviewing people from different members of our community. Anybody that you guys will be interested in having on, we'll be interested in having on. We'll be doing interviews. Okay. Another one. Untold Stories. This segment is going to be over little to unknown facts of Breathitt County or the region itself. Next we have is the archives. This will be going over the history of Breathitt County, what all it has to offer.
Plus some of the stuff that's available in the archive at the Breathitt County Library.
It is.
Special collections, guys. Really cool stuff.
And then we have Discover at Your Library, which is new and current information about the community and the community-based events we do with Teen Advisory.
Really hope that you guys stay with us, so keep tuned in. Once again, it is bi-weekly, so we will get to keep talking to you guys, but today we're going to be doing a different segment we haven't mentioned yet, which is the Tabcast. So, as previously mentioned, we are members of the Breathitt County Public Library Teen Advisory Board, which is for grades 7 to 12 across any schools in the entire county.
And that does include homeschool kids. If you are a homeschool kid and would like to join and fall under 7th to 12th grade, you are more than welcome. We have multiple homeschool kids in Tab.
Yeah, it's so much fun. And in this particular segment, we're going to go through and talk to different Teen Advisory Board members to talk about their experiences, how much they love to have fun here, all the different stuff we do. So that way you get plenty of different perspectives from every walk of life and how much Teen Advisory Board has helped your community and these individual kids working with it. Anything else to add, Jonathan?
Are we doing the first segment of this podcast today, of the Tabcast?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Susan,
why did you join Teen Advisory?
No, I'm going to be... No, I haven't talked much, so you can do that. Okay, let's get in position. Ask your question.
So, John,
Jackson,
when did you join Teen Advisory Board?
I joined Teen Advisory Board last year in October at the last Jack-O-Lantern Jamboree. I came up there, and Susan walked up to me and said, "Hey," and I said, "Hi," and she said, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Jonathan," and she goes, "Are you in school?" And I said, "Yep." She goes,
and the rest is history.
She said, "Where do you go to school?" And I said,
"Nope, we can't say that on TV." Wait, YouTube.
Yep.
Can't say that.
"Oh, I can't?" I said,
"One of the local schools.
I go to a school around here."
Oh. Oh. You can blur it.
What is it? Oh. But Susan said, "Do you want to be in Teen Advisory?" And I was like, "Maybe." And she said, "I feed you every month." And I said, "Yep."
That seems to be the common factor. Everybody
likes food.
Fun fact, we meet once a month for the Teen Advisory Board. Once again, if you want to join, right after school up here at the Breathitt County Public Library in the front room, we get food. Different food every meeting. Sometimes it's Taco Bell, sometimes it's KFC, sometimes it's Little Caesars.
Sometimes it's IGA chicken and wedges.
Those are my favorite meetings. I love the
That with
wedges.
with a little bit of Frank's Red Hot.
No, I like
It's
ranch.
delicious.
I've ran all over this library looking for ranch one day,
Ranch
and I still didn't find
ranch is the most overrated dipping that you can do.
any. No, it's not.
That's my hot take.
You're
That's my
crazy.
that is my hot take for
You know,
today.
my hot take: Frank's Red Hot is disgusting.
Frank's Red Hot is the best. Frank's
No,
Red
it's
Hot.
not. It
Frank's-
is not. It is nasty.
Frank's Red Hot has
No,
nothing
it's
in it. You
not.
can put it on anything.
It is not.
It
You're
makes it taste
disgusting.
better.
You're disgusting.
I put some in. I have it in tacos. I dip pork chops in it, fried pork chops in it. I put some in vegetable soup last night when Mommy fixed vegetable soup.
In vegetable soup? Why would you ruin perfectly good vegetable soup?
Salt and pepper it up. Put a little bit of Frank's Red Hot in there. Eat it with some saltine crackers.
Salt, extra pepper, crackers. I'm with you there. Frank's Red Hot? That's nasty. You're nasty.
Have to
That's
have a little
gross.
flavor to it.
The
Okay,
soup
so
is
John, you
flavor.
joined Tab last year at Halloween.
I did join Tab last year Halloween. That was fun.
What's your favorite part about being a member of Teen Advisory Board?
Getting fed.
Other than the food and us getting to bug Susan, like right now.
That was my number 2.
That's my number 1 is bug Susan.
Susan's fun to mess with. Probably aggravating Steve. That's up there. That's got to be up there.
That one's up there on all ends of everybody's.
So what's your favorite program that you all have helped with?
That I've helped with. That's a hard one. I like them all. I don't think there has one that I haven't liked. I really like Halloween because you get to see all the kids dressed up in their costume, and you get to see them having fun. And it's really nice to see. It's a lot of wholesomeness going around in one little spot. It's fun to see. Kind of makes you forget about a whole lot of stuff that you have going on.
Yeah.
Well, Jackson, how long have you been at Teen Advisory?
I don't actually know. A couple years. Since about, I'd say probably about 4 or 5-ish. It was like right after the first flood happened. I was working a flood relief, like award ceremony for people to be recognized for who helped. But and then a girl that I was really, I cheered with, who I guess was on Teen Advisory Board, said, "Hey, Susan wants to talk to you." I said, "Who's Susan? I've never met somebody named Susan."
This is a recurring thing.
This is, it gets commonly asked, you know, how do you get kids in your Teen Advisory Board?
You feed them.
You feed them and you talk to them. You treat them like they're adults, and that's exactly what Teen Advisory Board is. That's probably my favorite part about it, is we're not just sitting here and we're not getting told, "Hey, we have this coming up, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing," and you have to sit there for 4 hours.
And I like the Teen Advisory meetings because it's not like Susan or Misty has everything planned out for stuff we're going to do. It really gives us a voice to speak on what we want. Like, what was it, last month? Month before last? Was it September?
September.
We had a Winnie the Pooh children's, what's it called? I forgot.
Reader's Theater.
Reader's Theater. We got costumes, we got onesies, and dressed up as Winnie the Pooh characters and did like a little play for all the kids that wanted to show up and do the little Winnie the Pooh. And then we had games afterwards that we did, and we got to take pictures with kids in our costumes. And that was brought up and suggested by one of the seniors at our Teen Advisory Board meetings. And that was the sole reason that we did that, is because he brought it up and mentioned that he wanted to do something like that.
We sat down and we said, "Susan, you know, it'd be really cool is if we did a Reader's Theater that was Alice in Wonderland." And she made it happen, you know. Can't do everything. You can do a lot.
They're really good about it. They listen to everybody's opinions and voices that they have, and they try to do anything within reason. If it's totally all the way out there, it's like, it's within reason. But mostly everything that we suggest gets.
Yeah, and it's not super formal, and that's something else I like too. I do a lot of stuff that I have to sit there and I have to be like really proper. But when you're able to sit down at a meeting and it's fun, it's not miserable. I've never once said, "Oh my God, I have to go to this Teen Advisory Board meeting after school." I get excited. I'm like, I'm going to go.
I
I'm
want to
going
go
to
get.
eat.
I want to get
I'm going to
fed.
talk. I'm going to get to see my friends. I'm going to get to have a conversation. I'm going to get to help make choices. And you're not talked to like a kid and they're trying to get you to pick what they want.
Yeah.
Trying to think of anything else.
It's your turn to ask me a question.
That's what I'm trying to think of as a question. I think our conversations covered the basis of the teen advisory board.
Susan, will leave anything out?
No. That's about what teen advisory is about. It's giving the teenagers a voice in the community.
Yeah. So if you take anything away from this, join the teen advisory board if you're of age. If not, find somebody who is and send them our way.
We'll be happy to have them. We have, what'd you say, about 40 kids in teen advisory
40.
right now. We have quite a few seniors, probably
12.
10, 12. I was thinking about 10. Susan just said 12. So after this year, they'll be leaving. So we'll be really depleted from what we have now. We also had a lot last year that was in teen advisory that graduated. So we would love for you to come join us at our next meeting. You can find that on the Facebook page.
Yeah. Also, I love about this library, they have public archives. You can get on their Facebook page, which will in the links section on their Facebook page. You can go to their website. You can find Past Perfect. Listen, I've sat down for hours. Teenagers out there watching, if your parent went to any kind of school in Breathitt County, particularly Breathitt High School is where a lot of the archives are from. But there are also Jackson City. There's one or two things from like Owsley County that I've seen on there. There's all kinds of different stuff. Get in there, look up your parent's name. I found some of my dad, and I've never been more tickled in my life. And that's also a really cool conversation that you get to have with the people around you. Say, look at what I'm doing, and then look at what these people were doing the same thing 50 years ago. Or you find your dad's middle school prom pictures. Some of that stuff goes back further than 50 years. I'm not kidding.
I didn't say that you was. I was just thinking, how old do you think your mom and dad are?
No, I wasn't talking about well, I did for a minute, but not the 50 years portion. That was like relating to my extracurriculars. Like I can get on there and see pictures of my coach when she was my age. And that's crazy. Like you can see pictures of your coaches and the people in charge of you. For example, I have lots of pictures of Susan saved to my phone that I found of her senior portraits.
Genealogy.
We have at the BCPL such an extensive genealogy.
There's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a whole room.
I inventoried that. That's a lot.
I only inventoried some of it. I inventoried the small wall.
The last shelf.
No, I did some of the obituaries and death and birth records. For reference, if you join the Teen Advisory Board, you don't have to do inventory of the library. But because me and John had such an incredible time with everything that we do here with TAB, we came across the opportunity, because we were informed about it, that they hire summer workers. So if that is something that you're interested in, it's a really great opportunity, help build your resume, stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun. So when we say, oh, well, we had to clean the bathrooms, we were getting paid.
Yeah, I probably should have preferenced. That's not a teen advisory thing.
Sometimes you have to carry some stuff from one attic to the other, but
that's just part of helping. That's part of volunteering. You can't come teen advisory and expect not to help, if that makes sense. Everybody has to do something. Everybody plays a part.
It's still volunteer work.
Yeah.
You know, there is fun to it, but it's fun because of the people you're with. Mm-hmm. You know, I get to sit there and we can sit and we can joke, and it's not super, super serious. And there's times where you do have to be serious. You know, you can't work a toddler group and act the same age as the kids you're working with. Yep. You have to be a little bit older and more responsible. And that's why it's more high school age kids. And then our middle school also to help kind of develop them too.
Yeah.
And what do you guys get from us when you join TAB? What do we say other than food and meetings? What else do we do?
You get a lot of community service hours.
And
Experience.
Reference letters.
Lots of reference letters.
Yeah. But you get a lot of community service in. Thinking about how much stuff I've already done at TAB, there's stuff I don't even remember doing that I did that can be written as community service hours. And that will look very, very nice on a college resume. If you're planning on going to college, this will help you get a lot of community service in.
That's also something if you're applying to a job, and that's something if you're applying to a job for the first time ever in your life, you have nothing to put on a resume other than you're a student.
Yep.
So being able to put Susan down as a reference or Misty or whoever and say, okay, I'm able to, say you've worked a toddler group. Okay, well, I was able to assist and manage a group of, what's the average? Probably 15 kids.
Yeah.
Manage 15 adolescent children and assisting them. There's a better way to word it, but you can make it sound really, really good.
And also, if you're going to be a Rogers
Scholar, it really helps out with that. We did have one.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
we had a TAB member who went to Rogers Scholar.
And what's the other one?
Hobie.
Hobie. I went to Hobie. And another girl on our teen advisory board got Hobie last year. Hobie is so much fun, guys. When you're a sophomore and it gets sent out to your school, please sign up for it, register. It's an incredible opportunity, completely off topic. But teen advisory board, I put it on mine and I ended up getting it for my school.
And GSP.
And
GSP.
Governor Scholar.
For the arts and for regular GSP.
Yeah, there's also one for like entrepreneurs, and there's several different kinds of Governor Scholar.
But a lot of community service hours, you get really good references to put down. You get fed. You get to have fun. It's a good time. I've loved being in teen advisory.
Me too.
It's hard to believe it's already been a year. It is. Yeah. It's crazy, Susan. All because you walked up to me and said, "Hi, who are you?"
Yeah.
Susan will recruit. She's out. She's
scouting those basketball games. That's exactly what it is, too, is sometimes just walk up. And and it tripped me up at first, the first time I ever met Susan, is she knew who I was. She knew my parents. She knew my grandparents,
Susan
my
knows
aunts, my
everybody.
uncles. Because these are people who have spent the last however many years putting genealogy into systems. And genealogy is the study of family history. So she has sat here, and we're kin somehow. So especially researching her own family tree, she has seen me. She also just knows my parents. She just knows them too. That could also be part of it.
Small town.
Small town. I mean, everybody knows everybody. So if a woman named Susan walks up to you and says, "Hey, I know who you are," it's because she knows your parents. She has probably talked to your parents and said, "Hey, you should come to teen advisory board." Or to one of your friends.
Or she'll go, "Hey, who are you?" And you'll tell her name, and she'll go, "Oh, are you so-and-so's kid?" And you'll be like, "Yeah." That's how it goes. That's happened a couple of times. I witnessed that happen a couple of times. But it's fun.
Yeah. And it's people who don't feel distant.
Mm-mm.
Like, I can walk up to the library any day. Like, when we had a Jack-o'-lantern jamboree, I was very overwhelmed and I was very exhausted. And I was working on homework because I was behind in multiple classes at the time. Primarily only 2. But, just sat there and I was really upset. And Susan just came over and gave me a hug. Talked to me for a minute. Yeah. Then went and sent everybody to go set everything up. Then I sat there and worked on homework for another 2 hours.
Sounds about right.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Have to.
Or working and having a headache and I take a nap on her floor. I was not paid for my lunch break. I was taking a nap. That is my time.
That's what.
That was my
That is
time.
what happened.
That's exactly what happened.
I would come back from lunch and I'd go, "Where's Jackson?" And
In the floor?
Susan would go.
But she has a pillow and a blanket. I needed
Not
a
just
nap.
one. She has like 3. There's about 4 blankets in her office. There's about.
It's muted. Is it muted?
Oh, how'd I mute it?
It's
You-
dying.
You
Oh,
click it.
it's
Oh.
dead.
I can still hear you. It's just blinking red.
Oh,
Okay.
mine's good.
Okay. Let's go back talking about something else. You said favorite book. Double it and give it to the next person. Jalen, your turn.
I'm gonna have to go with Aragon.
Jalen. Oh, we have a person
What's
that
that?
just read the Aragon book, didn't we? Aragon. It's very fantasy like.
Oh, I can't read fantasy.
I'm not a big fantasy
It confuses me so bad, and the names.
Yeah, she's weird.
Okay,
Your turn.
I don't know. I'm trying to decide between like my genuine favorite and like
What you say is your favorite?
my my smart person favorite.
I don't have a smart person favorite.
My s-
It's hard for me to think of a
Anything
favorite.
Susan has told me to read is my smart person favorite.
Susan, what's your favorite book?
Water for Elephants.
What's it about?
You'll have to read it, find out.
See what she does to me? It's usually
She
how this
always
goes.
leaves us on cliffhangers.
This
She's
is how
like,
it
find
goes.
out. Go do it.
Um,
Read it. I don't know. I think mine is probably... It's going to be everybody else's answer, too. Like, probably every girl who reads books watching this. But it ends with us. Like, the book itself, I've never read a book that made me cry that much. Because it's just such an incredible story about such a real situation that so many people experience. And I'm really happy that it became popular because I feel like it shed a lot of light on domestic violence. And it really just, it makes, I don't know, I felt like it made me think. But my second favorite is Fahrenheit 451 because that one really threw me for a loop. And Ray Bradbury's writing style in that particular book, at least, confused me. And I had to listen to the audio version to understand it.
It did. I had to read that my sophomore year of high school for my
Oh.
AP literature class. It was
Ray
very-
Bradbury's pretty good.
He's different.
He always has such a good message in his books. Like, we had to read The Veldt.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed The
It
Veldt.
really took me a while to understand the Veil, but it has a good message behind it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Thinking of favorites, just ones that I liked. Huh?
So The Last of the Mohicans.
No, okay. I finally got that in on Libby. We have Libby too. You can sign. You can make an
Yes!
account on Libby.
You have to
And-
have a library card, though, so come in. If you are under the age of 16, you have to have a parent, but if you're 16 or older, then they are able to do it for you. And you just come in, you pretty much just show your ID. That's pretty much all you do. They write your name down, put you into the system, and then you go into Libby and just, like, scan your card.
Yep. Libby. I finally got Last of the Mohicans in on Libby.
Libby has the actual, like, reading version, so if you're somebody who enjoys digital reading and you're, like, thinking about buying something more expensive, like a Kindle, a membership, well, a library card, it's free. You walk in, you get your card, you go home, you download the app. It's incredible. It's super, super easy. It has audiobooks, reading books. So if you're really trying to get into reading and you want to take it on the go, it's a really great way to do that. It has most books. And if there's something on there that you just can't quite find, because we've had that very same situation, you're always able to ask the desk to request a book and they can write it down and see what they can do.
Amen.
Amen, brother.
I don't know. I haven't used Libby a whole lot. This is the first book I've checked out with Libby, and it's because I'm more. I can't. Some of the books I can't understand just reading them to myself. I have to have them read to me, so I'll listen to it like it's an audiobook, but I'll follow along with it with a physical copy of the book.
That's me with Ray Bradbury.
Yeah.
I can't read it. It's confusing.
It is, and that just helps me a lot. That the same way for me in school. I do that with schoolwork too.
Yeah.
But
So if you ever say, well, I just can't get into reading, try that. Try following along or doing audiobooks and a little bit of both, because you never know, something that may be confusing before, just try it a little bit of a different way and it'll work out.
New perspective on it entirely.
New perspectives. There's a whole
Well, that looks like it's going to be all today for the In the Stacks podcast. Thank you for joining me and Jackson over
Why
here.
are you talking like you're reading it off a teleprompter? The teleprompter's not on.
No, I have my teleprompter right here, and it's not on.
That looks like a clock that says 5:32. So
I don't have the parrot. The parrot is not on.
true. True.
Do you want me to act like I'm reading off the teleprompter?
You were a second ago.
That is all that we have for you today at In the Stacks Library.
Library?
I don't know.
A podcast. I thought this was a podcast,
It
guys.
is. It's a podcast. I just can't speak.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We hope that you guys have learned something new and that maybe we interested you a little bit in Tab. We hope you stick with us, and we'll see you next time.
Very all over the place, but we hope you stick
Goodbye
around
from
for
the
episode
Stacks.
2.
Goodbye from the Stacks.